Ashley here, and today I'm going to show you how I created these two looks using the Patrick Ta Major Dimension 3 palette. I'm first using this Morphe 205 brush, then dipping into the color Staple, and then I'm going to apply that all over the lid, into the crease, and then blending it upwards towards the brow bone, just kind of adding like a wash of that all over the lid. I just ordered this palette off of Sephora a few weeks ago and was super excited to try it out. I'm kind of new to the Patrick Ta brand. I have tried one of the lipsticks in the color She Must Be New. It's such a pretty shade for fall. It's a really deep red. So I was super excited to try this palette out. It has a row of cool tones as well as warm tones, and then it has two cream shadow shades. I didn't get a chance to try them out, but I'm looking forward to doing that. I really want to try one of the cream shades on the lash line to like intensify a smoky lash line look. I really think it's nice that you can get the cool tones and the warm tones in one palette, because most of the time if I want to use cool tones I have to use just a cool tone palette or just a warm tone palette, because they typically don't usually come in the same component. Next, with the same brush, I'm just going to use the tip of the bristles to apply a little bit of that to the lower lash line, bringing it about halfway across and just blending out that bottom edge. Next, with a Milani E100 brush, I'm dipping into the color Refined and applying that to the inner corner. I'm just kind of sweeping it onto the lower lash line a little bit and then onto the upper lid a little bit as well, just to add like a nice bright pop of light in the inner corner. And then next, I'm going to be dipping into the color Fundamental with this Huda Beauty little liner brush. They don't sell it anymore, but you could totally use any liner brush for this. I really like how precise and thin this one is, but I'm going to like sketch on a cut crease type line, just using little side to side motion, just kind of mapping it out before we blend it out. So far, I love how pigmented these shades are. The overall color story of the palette is very simple, but I also like that because I can create a natural look, but then if I want to bring in some color, I can always go in with another palette or a pop of shimmer or something and just put it on the lid and then create like more of a glamorous look. We also have a couple of cream shades in this palette. I have not tried them yet, but they look great for like a base for a smoky eye, or even if you wanted to create like a smoky lash line as like a base to make it more intense. So here I'm just kind of making a V shape in the outer corner, and then I'm lining my upper lash line, making that thinner towards the outer corner and then thinner towards the inner corner, just to make like a little wing here. Using the tip of the brush, using little side to side motions to line. And then I'm going in with a wing, just kind of following the upward slope of my lower lash line as well as the angle of the cut crease, and then sweeping that inwards, making it very thin. If you find doing a winged liner is intimidating, I definitely highly suggest trying it out with eyeshadow first and like a little tiny art brush, because you can totally do it in little sections at a time, and then it's easier to wipe it away with a little bit of concealer if you do make a mistake. I'm dipping into the color Essential and then using a Morphe H3 brush. Here I started with that liner brush again, but I decided I wanted to use this H3 brush instead. I'm just kind of buffing that top edge of the line we created to start blending it out. I am going to go in with a third color, so don't blend it up too high. I am going to go in with one more lighter shade to help blend this upwards towards the brow bone. Just kind of softly blending the edges using little circular motions, little side to side motions to help blend out that top edge. I'm just kind of leaving that outer corner V shape on the bottom blank, just blending out that top edge. Next, I'm dipping into the color Staple with that same brush, and I'm going to start blending that top edge of the color that we just started with, just to create a smooth transition to the brow bone. This is the color we started with, so it just kind of brings the whole look together. I do have two more palettes I want to try out two looks with, one on each eye. You'll have to let me know how you like this format. I thought this was fun for this palette because there's one row of the cool tones and one row of the warm tones. I wanted to see what each of them looked like. I was also thinking about filming a video with two different types of smoky eyes, like one a brown smoky eye and then a black smoky eye, using the cream shadows in this palette as a base. Next, I'm just adding a little bit of that Essential color to the lower lash line, bringing it about halfway and then blending it to the previous color. Adding an inner corner wing to my eye. I do have a blog post all about drawing on the inner corner wing, going in with some Pacifica Beauty Activist Volume Mascara, and then gluing on Velour lashes in style Minimalist to the underside of my lashes. I did trim them down a little bit, but this is the completed look from the cool tone side. I really loved these colors, super easy to blend out. Up next, I'm going in with the warm tone row. I'm gonna go in with the Morphe like blending brush. This is from the Coca-Cola collection. It doesn't have a number on it, but just like a fluffy crease brush. And then I'm using the color Needed on the inner corner, blending it kind of towards the center, but leaving the center blank, blending upwards towards the brow bone here. And then I'm gonna add that same color on the outer corner, again, leaving the center of the eye blank. We're gonna create a halo eye. And then somewhat making a V shape in the outer corner just to kind of follow the contours of the eye, and then blending it up above the crease, being sure to leave that center portion blank. If you do get it on the center portion, you can always go in with a little bit of concealer to cover it up and then blend the concealer towards the edges to just kind of clean everything. Since this brush isn't available anymore, I would totally check out some of the brush sets on Morphe. They often have like the little brush kits that come with their new collections. There's always really great eye brushes in those sets. And then I'm going to apply this on the inner portion of the lower lash line and the outer portion of the lower lash line, leaving the center blank. Then with the color Crucial, I'm going to use another no-name brush from Morphe. It's from the Coca-Cola collection. I'm applying this color lower into the inner corner and then blending it up into the crease, just kind of making a soft transition between our previous shade and this one to add a little bit of depth. Doing the same thing in the outer corner, just kind of deepening that a little bit and then maintaining that V shape in the outer corner, blending it towards the center. And then I'm going to apply that same shade to the lower lash line as well, to the inner and outer portion. If you want to make this look even more intense, you could add more depth with the color Trademark. I ended up using Trademark as liner, but I just wanted to mention that this could be really cool if you added that as well to make the highlight more intense. I'm dipping into the color Classic with the Morphe shader brush. Its number is V200. Applying that to the center of the eye, and then just using little side-to-side motions to kind of feather it into the shade in the outer and inner corner, and then blending it up towards the brow bone. Then I'm going to do the same thing on the lower lash line as well, just kind of bringing it side to side, dipping into the color Mandatory with that same brush, applying that to the inner corner and just feathering it into that orangey shade, brown kind of color, and then doing the same thing on the lid and lower lash line, blending everything out, just using little side to side motions to add a little bit more of a highlight. Next, I'm grabbing that Huda Beauty liner brush again, and then I'm dipping into the color Trademark. This is the one I was saying would look really cool if you added more depth to the inner and outer corner, but I wanted the intensity to be on the lash line for this look. So I'm just lining the upper lash line, making the line a little bit thicker in the outer corner, and then gradually making it thinner towards the inner corner. Using little side-to-side motions to do this, and then bringing it all the way in just so it kind of blends. Next, I'm going in with the Too Faced Better Than Sex chocolate liner, adding an inner corner wing. Like I said, I do have a blog post on how to create the inner corner wing if you want to see that down below in the caption. Curling my lashes with the Velour Lash Curler, going in with the Pacifica Activist Volume Mascara, and then gluing on the Minimalist lashes trimmed in half, glued to the underside of my lashes, and that completes the look. I will link all the products I use down below as well as my blog. Be sure to let me know how you liked the look, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye. Thank you for watching.